Well, we've seen the impact of China's economic policies and COVID policies on the rest of the world. And what does this mean for the US economy, for the global economy? With me is Peter Chun, who's managing partner and founder of Silverbear Capital from Hong Kong this morning to kind of explain a little bit how you see things from that side of the world. So welcome, Peter. And I just saw this morning some economic numbers out of China. Jobless rate, industrial production, all are falling. I mean, which I guess shouldn't be a surprise because we've seen Shanghai be locked down. There's been some other lockdowns. How do you see things currently right now in Asia?
Well, I mean, in Asia, as everybody would probably have noticed, there is quite a roller coaster ride. Obviously, there is side business to be done, like the Russian event that had added, I guess, some fire as well. So I think there's a mixture of the Chinese economy running a little tight already during the last 1 or 2 years during COVID, and obviously the Shanghai lockdown that particular month had costed quite an unexpected hit for the Chinese economy. I mean, I would probably say conservatively, we're looking at around causing the whole China 2.5% GDP just with that 1 month lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite a difficult number to be accepted by the Chinese government. And obviously, you can see there is some kind of alternative commodity like the crypto space actually not doing good. That adds a little bit of the fire to the scene. So generally, Asia is coming through with a very interesting capital market outlook, whereby some people would say this is the best time for bargain hunting. And then the other end is saying that, hey, look, I would like to switch my portfolio to a different type of assets.
Yeah, there have been some asset managers in the US who are like, stay out of China right now. We just can't figure out what they're doing. And I mean, and we've heard a lot here about the zero COVID policy. Do you think that the government might ease off of that because of the economic damage?
Yes, I think so. There's already been a lot of talks about the government intervening into the economy in a good way. So they try to cut the reserve, increase the reserve, cut the rates, increase the rates. They do all sorts of things to help the economy to sustain itself. So obviously, China had been doing quite well for the last 10 years. As you can see, every year they achieve certain targets growth. And it seems well, I would probably remember the trade wars a couple of years now. And the trade war didn't really stored some of the growth in China still. So I would say this time the Chinese government had done a great job controlling the COVID still, because they have a very large amount of population there in a very kind of a young infrastructure that is already old. So when you try to use such an infrastructure to battle along with something like the COVID, that takes skill sets. And I think that's basically one of the challenges that the government is having right now in China. Secondly, I think obviously they have the economy to run. You got the tourism virtually dead. You got the people, some people are actually working 50% of what they should be because of the COVID. Some are actually staying at home full time. Some can do conference calls, some cannot. This will all kind of add to the convoluted situation that the Chinese government are trying to resolve. But yet, I believe, despite all the things that China government needed to resolve, Chinese economy is still a very large economy. So, and I would say probably it takes probably another half a year for Chinese government to untie themselves from these issues and be able to build the momentum back into its engine pretty quickly.
Interesting. And we are dealing with a lot of supply chain issues. So many goods are made in China. Are you seeing that situation improve at all?
No, actually, it's not improving for the time being. I think what is good is that all these companies and corporations are now becoming aware about this issue. And so I think they're making modifications to their business strategies to allow the, I would say, the business to be more diversified with regards to the supply chain side of the stuff. So the next time if things kind of happen again, then they will not be surprised by the
Yeah.
situation anymore.
Now, have you thought at all about how this kind of ends? I mean, because we've got, the supply chain issues and we've still got COVID. I mean, at what point do you think, like, how, will the US, and there's a lot of talk and efforts here in the US to bring manufacturing back here. How do you think this world will look in 5 years in terms of the global economy?
Well, I think the ultimate solution here is team play. I think I think somehow the two superpower needs to come to some sort of resolutions, and within that resolutions it will be both sides having some reservation or compromisation about each other's benefit and offtakes. And I think in the end, it will be interesting to see if either side have a special arrangement with certain things. For example, oh, why don't you set up like your manufacturer in US in this special economical zone? And this economical zone will have certain tax incentives because you're providing jobs to local, but will help you or subsidize you by relieving certain tax policies when you do that in the US. So actually, it's not, you're gaining by losing. So people are actually gaining work at the local level in the US, but power by the Chinese manufacturers now located in US. Now you save money on the logistics. You have a better employment plan for the U.S. people, but now because you relieve them from the tax that you're going to charge them coming over to the U.S., the Chinese investors or the manufacturer is not losing.
So, and it feels like that's going to have to happen, those creative type of solutions, because I think there's a lot of kind of tension, global tension going on right now. At least I hear it.
I know.
So Peter, how have you changed your investment profile or where you're looking in terms of making your investments because of the pandemic?
Yes, we have actually. We obviously went a little bit to the online world more than ever now. So any projects or any companies with a cell phone component that's attached to the business model would be a first pick. Then secondly is obviously any company with a alternative plan to allow them to continue to be sustainable during a repeated COVID situation also would be one of our first pick as well now. So we work with various clients that has a need for an investment, but when we also usually encourage them to think how should they deploy these investments so that if COVID comes around with a different format, how would we be more sustainable than today?
And what about geographically? Are you looking at different parts of Asia as kind of growth areas?
Yes, we are. We're still picking on territories with growth. So in Asia, we're looking at Thailand, for example, Philippines, especially. Indonesia is another good one. I think we have a good momentum with most of the Asian countries. For the time being, obviously, the COVID situation now coming in didn't really help, but actually gives room for a lot of these companies or territories to grow, because now they're basically undervalued most of the times.
Oh, interesting.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think this will be the case.
Okay. Thank you so much, Peter. I think we're going to be doing more of these conversations, kind of this US, Asia economic and investment profile. So I look forward to that. It's so interesting to hear your perspective from Hong Kong.
Thank you.
Thank you.